Well, hi, Explore Erin. Are you taking a break from your discoveries?
Yes, I must keep my professional mind nourished and ready at all times.
Oh, that's true. It's good to do that. Well, while you do that, I was actually going to maybe do a quick little recap with the kids about what we learned yesterday.
Good idea.
Yeah, so yesterday, Explorer Erin showed these really cool pictures to us of these camouflage creatures. And Explorer Erin, why was that such an important discovery for you?
Oh, well, I had never really thought of it before, but it is really amazing to think that God created these animals and creatures to look just like their surroundings. And it was pretty cool to think that, so.
Yeah, that's right. They showed how God perfectly created them to blend in with their surroundings, just like you said. That's awesome. And then we also learned about another animal, the giant anteater, and how it has those 4 features we talked about that show us that it had to be created by a creative God. The first one was its sense of smell, how it could smell really, really good. Second, we learned about its front claws, how they're able to use them to make the hole in the anthill to get to the ants. And then third, its long, sticky tongue and a snout, which it can stick down in that hole to slurp up all the ants in there. And then lastly, the fourth one was how it knows when to stop eating at an anthill and go to another one so that that anthill can rebuild. And that really just shows us how God is a creative God. He was able to create the anteater specifically for how it needed to be able to eat and survive. I think that was really, really cool.
Yes. Well, I think I'm done with my snack now, and we'll be off to find another great discovery.
Okay, all right. Explore, Erin.
Yes, is there a discovery here that I could work on?
No, but did you just drop this on the ground?
Yes, well, the rangers are not around. And plus, I really do hate those crummy things in my pocket, especially the chocolate ones. They get all melty and...
Oh, but Explore, Erin, that's littering, which is not only illegal, but it's also ruining the natural beauty of the rainforest.
True, but it's just one little wrapper, and I don't really think that's such a big deal. Plus, that law is really more for the big stuff, like picnic leftovers. So I don't really think this one little wrapper is that big of a deal. But since it bothers you, I suppose I could put it in my pocket. Actually, would you mind putting it in your pocket for me?
Explore, Erin, I really think you're missing the point.
Oh, really? I was kidding about your pocket.
No, not about the wrapper.
Oh, not the wrapper? Then what are we talking about?
Well, I'm talking about littering.
Oh, well, but it was just one wrapper. I'm not really sure I would consider that littering.
Okay, well, you're right that one wrapper's maybe not really that big of a deal. But what if a lot of us were to eat granola bars and then throw our wrappers on the ground?
Well, I guess that would be littering since there would be more of them.
Okay, so it starts to matter if there's more of them, but how many more?
Oh, well, I'm not really sure.
This is beginning to remind me about what we are talking about today on our adventure.
You're talking about granola bar wrappers on your rainforest adventure?
No, not the granola bar wrapper necessarily, but we're talking about how God requires us to take responsibility for our actions. And your granola bar wrapper reminds me about what God thinks of sin.
Sin?
Yeah, do you know what sin is?
Yeah, isn't sin the really big stuff like stealing, lying, and cheating?
Yeah, those things are all sin, but sin can also be little things as well. And did you know that God will hold us all responsible for every sin that we commit?
Really?
Mm-hmm. You said that the granola bar wrapper wasn't really that big of a deal, but do you think that the rainforest ranger would agree with you?
No, he would probably agree with you, but he would never know that it was me.
God is kind of like the rainforest ranger, except for he knows everything and he sees everything.
Oh, well, I suppose you're right, but I've done many wrong things and nothing has happened, just like if I left that wrapper on the ground. So, little sins must not be a big deal to God. They might be irritating, but I think in the end he is understanding.
Explore Erin, I'm not really sure you're right. In fact, the kids learned a verse about this morning. It's found in Romans 4:12, and it says, "So then each one of us will give an account of himself to God."
Okay, so maybe in the end it'll matter, but what about all the good things that I've done? Like my discoveries and how I help people. So I think it'll turn out okay. Now, I'm off to do more of those great things. See ya.
Oh, wait, Explorer Erin. Ugh. Okay, hear me out. I have an idea. Why don't you sit down, and I have actually like an analogy, like a story we can go through that will maybe help you understand.
I really should get going.
I think it'll help lead you to a great discovery.
Oh, okay, fine. If it doesn't take too long.
Okay, it will. You want to sit down, and actually you can help me kind of
Sure.
with the story that I want to tell. Okay. So Explorer Aaron makes some really good points. Is sin really a big deal? Does sin really matter to God? Does God really keep track of everybody's sin? You know, these are all really good questions. And to answer these, we're going to imagine a scenario. Can you help me with that, Explorer Aaron? Sure. Okay, let's imagine this scenario where Explorer Aaron is in school and I'm the teacher. And we're going to pretend that it's the very, very first day of school. Explorer Aaron comes in and she comes up to me and I go, all right, Explorer Aaron, every single day I need you to do 1 page of homework. Just one. It's not super hard. It won't take you very, very long. But you do need to do it every day. And at the end of the school year, if you've done all that, then you get to not only go to a party, but you also get to graduate. All right, does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, we clear on the rules?
Clear.
Okay, so you need to do what?
I need to do my homework every day, and then I'll be able to go to the party and graduate.
Absolutely. All right. So I'm actually going to keep these over here really quick. So we're going to have, this first one's going to represent Explorer Aaron's very, very first page of her homework. And so at the beginning, it started out pretty well. Every single day, Explorer Erin was doing her homework. She'd get home and she'd do it right away. I'm just going to start handing you pieces of paper. She'd start doing her homework and she'd do it every day without forgetting, which was really good. But also during this time, so a few days were passing by, Explorer Erin also started to do things to help out in the classroom. Like, for example, she would help straighten the chairs, or maybe she'd help clean up the floors, take out the trash, just things like that. She wanted to help out the teacher. And that was really nice of her. But these were just the little things that she could do to help. And so she started getting all of this homework and go and just pile those right there. So this is all of the homework that she's done so far. Doing a really good job keeping on top of her homework. But then one day came, and it was a really nice day outside. Explorer Erin was thinking to herself, she's like, I know I need to do my homework, but right now is the perfect time to go out looking for tarantulas, because Explorer Erin really likes tarantulas. She's like, they're out right now, this is the perfect weather to look for them. But I should do my homework, but I'll just do it later. And so she decided not to do her homework, and she ended up not doing it at all that day. And, you know, she was like, okay, it's probably not that big of a deal. I'll just deal with it later. And so it kind of went on for a few days. She wasn't doing her homework, and she started to think that maybe it wasn't really that big of a deal, that maybe the teacher wasn't serious when she said that she needed to do the homework every single day. So more and more time went by, and more homework went undone. And she decided to kind of forget about worrying about it. She's like, okay, it's not this huge deal at all. But she did continue. She continued to do the nice things for the teacher. She was still helping out in the classroom and helping out the teacher, and thinking that, okay, you know, it's probably fine. I bet the teacher forgot about the homework and everything. And so we have the stack here that's kind of representing all of the homework that she didn't do. And do you guys think the teacher forgot about what she had said? No, she didn't. And it wasn't long before the year was almost over. But by then, Explorer Erin was so caught up in all the nice things that she was doing to help the teacher out that she mostly forgot about the homework. And even when she did remember it, she's like, oh, you know, it's probably not a big deal. Occasionally she worried that maybe the teacher would be strict about it. But she's like, oh, well, I did so many nice things to help out the teacher. It probably won't be that big of a deal. But when it came to the end of the year, Explorer Erin wasn't able to go to the party and wasn't able to graduate. Even though the teacher was really nice and really wanted Explorer Erin to be able to do these things, Explorer Erin hadn't followed the rules that were laid out. And even though, you know, she did these nice things for the teacher, she still didn't do what was asked of her. And all those nice things didn't make this pile of unfinished homework go away. And so God is kind of like the teacher in this scenario. And he can't just forget about our sins. And just because we do good things doesn't necessarily mean that that wipes away all of the wrong things that we do. We can't do good things to wipe out all the bad we do. And some people think that. They're like, oh, well, if I do a lot of really, really good things, it'll get rid of the bad things. But just like the student couldn't go to the party because they didn't follow the rules, there are consequences for our sin as well. And it's unfortunately not possible to never sin or not to do anything wrong, because none of us are perfect and we all mess up. So we all have this problem of the sin in our life, of this kind of like Explorer Erin had this problem with the unfinished homework that she couldn't just make go away no matter how many good things she did. We all have that problem of sin in our life. And it puts up that barrier between us and God and makes it hard for us to be friends with him and to have that relationship with him. But fortunately, God knew that we had this problem. So even though there's this problem, he knew we had this problem, and he sent his son Jesus to make a way for us to be forgiven. And we're going to talk all about that tomorrow. But I don't want to leave you without hope. Like, yes, we sin. We can't get rid of it on our own. But fortunately, God knew that we had this problem, and he sent Jesus to come to earth and die on the cross for our sins. But we're going to talk about that all tomorrow. So make sure that you join us for tomorrow. Goodbye.
And when you send a blessing to him, and ask for your strength to do right.